I'll have the blues this morning.
Welcome back to the Sober Sex Sofa. Shanti Patty Owen here. I am your host for this channel where we discuss sobriety, sex, and mental health. And today's topic is holiday blues. Now, you don't have to have an addiction to experience holiday blues. You might have some mental health challenges, or you might be a total normie kind of person without any addiction or mental health issues, and you can still experience holiday blues. So I'm going to discuss holiday blues in two different camps. One for those who are identified as addicts and they're in a sober program, and for those who are normies, who don't have addiction issues or who don't think they have addiction issues. So I'm going to start off by speaking to my tribe of addicts. It is considered standard acceptance now that the opposite of addiction is connection. And this is one of the reasons I am so grateful that I am an addict in recovery. Actually grateful, because whenever I'm feeling the blues, it doesn't even have to be the holidays. I can jump into a Zoom meeting anywhere in the world and connect with people who get me because we have similar challenges. So I know on Thanksgiving Day, my daughter was not here. She was working, and she's actually arriving tonight, and I'm going to do Thanksgiving tomorrow. But there was a little twinge of loneliness and I threw myself a miniature pity party for about half an hour. And then I said, oh, just go to a meeting. One of my friends who's also in program said, get to a meeting, Shanti. So I did. I was on a meeting for about, I think, 2 hours that day. And I laughed, I cried. And this is the great gift of sobriety. We have a community throughout the world that we can tap into at a moment's notice. Now, for those of you who don't have addiction issues, there are groups that you can also tap into. Now, it depends on the severity of your blues. Like, how blue are you? Are you scary blue where you're contemplating suicide? There are suicide hotlines. Go online and there are several suicide hotlines. There are grief groups. People, a lot of times over the holidays, we experience grief. We have lost people due to death, or we have lost relationships, whether it's family relationships or friendship relationships. Either they have pulled away from us or we have pulled away from them. Either way, there is a loss, and the holidays often bring up those losses. So there are all kinds of support groups. There are meetup groups all over the world where you could get together with people who want to learn how to speak Mandarin, or people who want to learn how to cook a steak. I mean, they are so specific, and it's a way to get together with people. I'm going to let you all know that the holidays are the happiest time of the year for me. It's on January the 2nd that I hit the pavement, and I get very, very depressed. So a little background on my family relationship. My mother, from Thanksgiving until January 2nd, was full of joy. She would sing. She cooked a lot. She, like my dad, drank a lot. Maybe that had to do with their happiness. But really, the house was warm. It was fun. She decorated to the nines, and it was the most wonderful time of the year. The rest of the year, the 11 months, my mom was, I don't know what happened to my mom, but my mom was a very angry person much of the time. Now, not socially. Socially, everybody loved her. She gave her best self to the extended family and neighbors and whatnot. But when she was around us kids, she was pretty angry a lot of the time. So I am a bit unusual in that I'm super high over the holidays, super happy. But Don't talk to me after January 2nd. It takes me a couple of weeks to get back on my feet. I get super depressed, grumpy. And a few years ago, I discovered, actually, maybe it was only last year, I think, because I know that I have this cycle that I go into a depression and January 2nd for a few weeks. So what I accidentally discovered, I think there was a holiday music on the radio, and I was like, what? It's January 7th, must be a mistake. But I immediately perked up and I was so happy. So I thought, well, it seems a little odd, but I just kept the holiday music going for the whole month of January, and it really helped me enormously. Holiday blues do not have to define your month. If you're not in a 12-step program and don't have meetings that you go to regularly, please go online. If you don't have a computer or a smartphone, go to the library. Go to your local synagogues, churches, wherever you pray, ask for support groups. It's a really, really important time to connect because the holidays bring up so many feelings of disappointments over the holidays not being like they were, perhaps, if you had a good childhood and you don't have those experiences anymore and you're comparing it to the past. There's something also that I do usually over Thanksgiving is I often serve meals at a soup kitchen. When I'm really depressed and I feel like I'm good for nothing, I often look for some place where I can be useful. And there's never a time when I am of service where I finish the service and feel worse. Never. It feels so good to give to those who are far more challenged than I am. So whatever helps you, as long as it's not hurting you and other people, i.e. addiction issues, etc., be kind to yourself. Be super gentle and kind to yourself over this holiday season. If you struggle with the holiday blues, get a massage, take a bath, cook yourself some nice food, order in some nice food, pick up the phone, call friends, call neighbors. And as I said earlier, look for groups, look for support groups because they're everywhere to be found. I want to address a question that was sent to me via email, which is sobersexsofa@gmail.com. So I've been asked why I don't announce the name of the 12-step programs that I am involved with or other 12-step programs. It is because there is a tradition in the anonymous groups of 12 steps where we do not discuss the names or give information on how to find these meetings publicly. It's fine if you want to ask me privately. I can give you some suggestions, but we do not go public with that. And some people have had issues with that, but I do adhere to that. So I do not give the specific names of the 12-step organizations. Whatever addiction you think you have, whether you have a gaming addiction, a porn addiction, a sex addiction, a love addiction, alcohol, drugs, food, you name it. There's even a 12-step program for people who have intense emotions. I found that out a few years ago. I thought, wow, this is really interesting, because I truly believe if everybody went to a 12-step program, we would be a better world, because it teaches us how to be our better self. So thank you so much for being here. I look forward to seeing you next week and the week after and the week after. We still have about, 4 weeks left until Christmas time, if you celebrate Christmas. So keep sending me your experiences, your questions. And again, you can send me those questions via email, which is sobersexsofa@gmail.com. If you're too shy to leave it in the chat, I understand. No judgment. I really appreciate you all sending me the questions privately. It's wonderful because it's telling me what you want to hear about. So thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you next week on the Sober Sex Sofa.